Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be sharing with you stress reduction techniques that you will want to take note of and start incorporating into your daily life. Who all has stress? Raise your hand. I know you probably do. We just came out of a crazy pandemic, which was a stressful time for a lot of people, especially those of us in healthcare. And we also have busy jobs. They're calling this the Great Resignation. A lot of people are burned out. And so a lot of people are stressed. And stressful situations are not necessarily things that we can control, right? You can't control whether a car is going to rear end you while you're driving to work tomorrow. You can't control whether your hot water heater is going to suddenly stop working at your house. There are a lot of things that we can't control. So stress will come, but I find it so important to have a daily practice of stress reduction technique that enable me to feel a sense of calm, less reactive to stressful situations. And I've noticed a tremendous difference since making stress reduction techniques a part of my daily practice. Another term for it is also contemplative practices, but I also do these daily and highly recommend you to consider incorporating them into your daily routine. So what does this look like? So first off, let's talk about chronic stress. So we all know that chronic stress has a negative impact on our health. It can raise our blood pressure, increase our risk for heart disease. It also can impair our immune system and increase inflammation. So chronic stress is something that you want to make sure that you're aware of. And then also you want to make sure that every single day you're engaging in contemplative practices to reduce your stress. And now I am in a busy profession, a very stressful profession, being a physician. And I had not incorporated contemplative practices into my daily routine, but 6 months ago, I started incorporating these practices, and I also did a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, and it has been truly, truly transformative. And what I found is that not only am I more mindful as to how I'm feeling with regards to positive and negative situations that arise during the day, but I also find that I don't feel stress in the midst of stressful situations. And I find that it has helped me to sleep much better. And it also has lowered my blood pressure and lowered my heart rate as well. It's been amazing. So every day I engage in contemplative practices for 30 minutes at least. So the first one, and this is probably the most transformative one that I would highly, highly recommend, is meditation. And now if you're like me, you're probably like, meditation? I always thought meditation was something that Buddhists did or that monks did, but I just thought it was some weird woo-woo stuff that I didn't need to do. So I've never really done it, truthfully, in this sense until, like I mentioned, about 6 months ago. And it's been so powerful. And so you may be asking, well, what is meditation? So meditation is a practice using different techniques to train the attention, awareness, and achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state. And so what you can do is look on YouTube and start Christian meditation or body scan meditation and put yourself in a quiet room where there's no distractions. Preferably, you can lay on your back on your bed or lay on a yoga mat on the floor in a still position and just quiet your mind and just set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes to start. Just 10 minutes, and you're laying there still, your phone is on do not disturb, and it trains you to focus, to not shift your attention, and it relaxes your mind. And once you get into the habit of doing that, you'll be able to do it for longer periods. So initially it may be hard to just lay still, not do anything, not answer your phone if it rings or not respond to noises that you may hear outside. But I would start with 10 minutes in the morning. And I like to use the Abide app, or on YouTube, there's a channel called 𝗛𝗛𝗪, which is really good. And then there's also the Calm app. So either of those I would use, and do that for a week or two. It'll probably take a week or two to notice a difference, but doing that every day for a month significantly reduces stress. And if you're someone who's busy, you have a lot of kids, you work a full-time job, you have a side hustle, you're volunteering, this is super, super important. Just 10 minutes to start at least. every day, you can find 10 minutes of quiet where you're alone and you can meditate. You'll find that you're less reactive to stressful situations, less likely to fly off the handle, less likely to feel tense and upset when confronted with uncomfortable conversations or stressful situations at work. So the benefits of it are priceless. It's truly priceless. So if you need to shift things around in your schedule to make time to meditate, highly recommend it. So that's the first contemplative or stress reduction technique that I recommend everybody to do. And I will never go back to not meditating every day. Like, it's a habit now. And I do it 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening before bedtime. Oh my goodness. It's just amazing. I cannot say more about meditating. Okay, so the second thing is breath work. Now, breath work is something that you can do with your meditation. And trust me, I didn't know what breath work was until a couple of months ago as well, when someone suggested it to me. But basically, and you can look on YouTube for channels that do breath work videos, but basically it's controlling your breath, being mindful of your breath. So one example would be when you're meditating, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds slowly, and focus your concentration and your attention on your breath. Or you can do it for 3 seconds, breathe in for 3, hold it for 3, and breathe out for 3. And the more that you do it, your lung capacity will increase, and you'll find that you'll be able to hold your breath for longer periods of time. But that's a great way to reduce stress, breath work. And even if you're at work, right, and you have a stressful situation, you may have heard people say count to 5, take a deep breath in and out. That's basically kind of like a modified breath work. So you can actually do it in the moment as well to help reduce stress. But it's really good to do with meditation just every day to just kind of reset your nervous system. Because what happens when you have chronic stress that's not regulated is your sympathetic nervous system takes over. And as a result, your cortisol level increases. So that raises the level of inflammation, and the parasympathetic nervous system with it, which is the rest and digest part of the autonomic nervous system, that part kind of takes a back seat. And so by doing these contemplative practices, you help to regulate your nervous system and bring it more in balance. All right, so the third technique, we talked about meditation, breath work. The third one is listening to soft music. And I didn't know that this was a contemplative technique until I started, doing the research and everything for it. But I actually love listening to classical music and used to play piano when I was younger until I left Bermuda for college. But I still like to go to the symphony. So listening to soft music, classical music that doesn't have music that doesn't have a heavy bass or a heavy beat to it is considered a stress reduction technique. So that's something to think about too. It could be, just waterfalls, maybe even, let's see what else. Birds playing, the ocean, sounds of the ocean. And there are sound machines you can buy that play these sounds. And YouTube has several clips of background sounds and soft music that you can play for sleep. So listening to soft music is helpful. The fourth thing is humming and singing. And I was really glad to learn that that is a stress reduction technique because, I'm a Christian and I go to church on Saturday. And so I'm glad to know that singing, although I am not a singer, that's not my gift, not my ministry, but I'm glad to know that humming and singing can reduce stress. And so there's that, especially if you enjoy it, right? If you enjoy it, definitely that can be something that you can use as part of your stress reduction kind of technique. The fifth thing is journaling. Journaling is basically just writing, in a journal. I've kept a journal for many, many years. So you can get a journal. You don't have to write in it every day, but it's really helpful for reflection. Say you're kind of going through a stressful period in life right now. Maybe you're dealing with a health challenge. In your journal in the evening, just get it out and write your thoughts for the day. How are you feeling? How was the day? What did you experience? And I know sometimes some people do a letter to their self. You can write a letter to your future self. And that's a nice way to kind of just put your thoughts on paper. All right. And the sixth stress reduction technique is prayer. I bet you didn't know that prayer was a stress reduction technique, did you? But yes, it is. Prayer is considered a contemplative practice. And if you are a person of faith, I'm sure that you pray on a regular basis. So that is very important. So that also counts. I don't think that takes the place of meditation, though. I think they're both important, but definitely pray every day, multiple times a day, and you can feel good about yourself and know that you're helping to reduce your stress. Okay, the seventh thing is mindfulness. And I recently did a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, and I didn't realize until I took the course and finished it that I am like never mindful. Like society encourages us to multitask to the 10th degree. Like I am always multitasking. If I'm cooking, I'm usually listening to a podcast. If I'm washing dishes, listening to something on the TV, talking on the phone. If I'm eating dinner, I'm talking to people, or I'm reading a book. And we're hardly ever doing one task at a time. But mindfulness is being present in the present moment, how your body feels, being present in the present activity that you're doing, and also without judgment. So one of the things that we would do in the mindfulness-based stress reduction class, it was an 8-week course, and we met every week for 2.5 hours. And we also had an 8-hour session, which was basically 8 hours of meditation. And they encouraged us to do a daily practice of 40 minutes each day. Now, most people didn't do the full 40 minutes. I didn't get to do 40 minutes every day. But one thing that was helpful was being mindful. So they encouraged us to, when we're eating, don't watch TV, don't listen to other things. Just think about the food that you're eating. How does it feel in your mouth? How does it taste? And I know it may seem weird at first, but trust me, if you do this over a time, you will find that your stress level will go down significantly. Same thing when you're driving mindfully. Now, usually, if you're probably like me, you've got music playing or you're listening to a podcast while you're driving. But mindful driving is driving in silence. No noise in the background, not talking to someone on the phone, but just paying attention to the drive, the scenery, the traffic, the road, what's around you, and just being present and paying attention. And it makes you more comfortable with quiet and silence, and not feeling like you have to fill every minute of every day with noise and activity of being productive. So that's what I want to share about mindfulness. And another way that mindfulness is very helpful is because oftentimes we're not really aware of our body. We are so busy that we don't even take time to stop and see how our body is feeling in any given moment. And so mindfulness teaches you to be aware of how your body feels. And so one thing that we would do is a body scan. It's a 40-minute thing for the class, but there are short ones that you can find online. But it basically is you focusing your attention on different parts of your body, like your foot, your leg, like how does it feel, so that you're aware of how your body feels. And I find it really helpful too, because even though I don't have pain right now, but last week I had some pain, some abdominal pain or whatever, and I was so much more mindful of it, noticed it quickly, and just so much more aware of how my body feels at any given moment. And it's also interesting too that you'll find that your body reacts to stressful situations before your brain can even think and comprehend what's happening. So if someone who is maybe negative and they're coming at you with like an attitude or whatnot, you'll feel it in your body before you even have a chance for your brain to think and process and say something back. And so many people that practice mindfulness notice that when they regularly engage in meditation and mindfulness, they're more aware of when their body is telling them, hey, I feel uncomfortable. This person's making me feel uneasy. This person's making me feel uncomfortable. They're more aware of it, and they're less likely to kind of respond and react without thinking. So that's very, very helpful. And then the 8th tip is spending time outside in nature. Now, nature, God's creation, I think is a wonderful place to kind of just spend time and just marvel in God's handiwork, the work that He created. So this could look like finding a park where you live and going there once a week to journal, sit down, some quiet time, maybe even have a picnic, whatever you choose. But spending time out in nature is so relaxing and will reduce your stress significantly. And if you want to take it even further, you can do what's called grounding. That's where you take off your shoes and walk around on the grass barefoot. That's really helpful too. So that's something else to consider. There are also other Eastern religion type practices that also have been shown to reduce stress as well. And depending on your religious background, you may or may not be comfortable, but I just wanted to mention them. Yoga has been shown to reduce stress as well. And Tai Chi and other practices like that have been shown to reduce stress. So basically what I'm saying is, and what I really hope that the take-home point here is, that it's not enough to eat healthy and exercise. So, everybody talks about eating healthy. I know I've talked a lot on my platform about eating healthy and plant-based nutrition. It's not enough to eat healthy. you also have to engage in daily practices that will cultivate your mind and help to foster a healthy mindset and reduce your stress. Okay, so every day, just like you want to eat healthy, you want to drink water, you want to get your sleep, you also want to engage in daily contemplative practices or stress reduction techniques. So make a note, maybe pick one or two of these things that I talked about here, look more into it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. And be sure to check out my website, drjudymd.com. We'll have the links in the description. Subscribe to my email list. That way you'll be the first to know when my next online course or program launches, and you'll be the first to know about exciting updates. So thanks for watching this video, and make sure that you subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.